Find the boy.
What boy?
I have no idea.
How did I forget how annoying you are?
Have you noticed an acceleration of strangeness in your life?
This is connected.
This is ridiculous.
This is gonna be a wild one.
Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
Otherwise known as Farah Black on Dirk
Farah
Gently.
Black.
Jade, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be at AOL Bill.
I told you this in green room. You look amazing. I love your outfit.
Thank you.
It's
I
so
tried.
cool.
I put some effort into it.
Incredible color combination. I love
Right?
it.
It's very fall inspired.
Exactly. And finally, we're getting a little fall, it feels like, right?
Yeah, it was kind of cold last night and this morning. So.
Do you like the fall, or are you kind of like, did you like the hot days where it should have been fall?
Well, I heard that you guys had a pretty hot summer. I was in Vancouver shooting this.
Oh, there you go.
But normally, I love New York summer. I miss spending the summer in New York, kind of. I like the fall because it's that in-between. I can't, the winter just hurts my heart.
Oh,
It hurts
really?
my soul, yeah.
I like the winter because, I mean, maybe because I have a hurt soul and like it digs it or
Well,
something.
no, I mean, that's okay. You can love it. You should.
When you walk out in the middle of the winter and you have to go somewhere, you're like, whoa,
Ooh,
oh,
yeah,
I'm
and
awake.
that just burns your face. It's not cute.
Let's talk about Farah Black.
Yeah.
Season 2. Well, let's talk about how you got involved with the show. How did the whole thing start for you?
Right. Well, I auditioned a lot for it.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there was a round of auditions, and I auditioned here in New York, and through my various Skype audition sessions, met Max, the creator, and eventually ended up going to Vancouver to do.
He's a character, right?
Oh yeah, love Max. His mind is like, I can't even fathom where his mind goes to create some of the. Did you see the Scissor Sword? I mean, when I read it, I was like, what? I don't. And then I saw it, and I was like, yup, that's it. Love it, all of it. That would never be a thing that I would ever conceive of. So, yeah.
Farah has had a really interesting arc over the course of the first season, and now in this season where she's, well, at least at the beginning, she's like partnered up with Todd and Dirk, and they're on the run. What has it been like to watch her journey? To play her journey?
Right.
To read her journey? To be her journey?
Right, to be her journey.
There it is.
Season 1 was great because, I mean, it's a lot. You're introduced to these characters for the first time. And again, my character isn't one that Douglas Adams specifically created. So it was kind of nice to find that on my own, you know, like using what Max provided, which was great. I mean, all of her weird idiosyncraticness was on the page and was fun to kind of discover and play with as the season progressed. And I think going into season 2, it made me feel really good because we just recently did Comic-Con here in New York, and when we were on the panel, Max said, this is kind of a Farah season, which kind of warmed my heart a lot because, yeah, she goes through, you learn a lot more this season about, you know, who she is and where her constant, you know, berating of herself comes from, you know?
Did he tell you it was going to be like that when the season first started, that he was like, hey, we're going to focus a lot on you this season?
No, not at all. I mean, I saw it as I read the scripts, and it was really exciting because I got to do a lot with her.
What's your favorite thing that you've gotten to do so far?
Okay, so I would say, yeah, there are a couple things. There are a couple things that are really cool. Like, I love all of the fun stuff, like the gunplay and all. Well, I can't talk specifically about that because that's a spoiler. But all of the fight stuff is so much fun, you know. Like especially going back to season 1. I think my favorite moment was when Farah was birthed by the car, just coming out through the through the trunk, and then like killing. I think it was one of the Men of the Machine or something like that. That was really fun for me. And then I think too this season what was really cool for me was shooting with Roger Cross. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, he plays Eddie Black, Farrah's brother. And we kind of shot that scene in kind of a monsoon. It was raining for real, and was not letting up. And it was outside, and there was a lot of, it was real cold. You know, it was a lot going on, but
Well, it's fun on days like that where there's like a lot of elements that you have to take into
You have
consideration.
no control over. And he was a great scene partner, just really fun to work with. And we had a lot of fun that day, even though the weather was kind of fighting.
Now, you're originally a dancer, right?
Well,
What's
that's
your-
kind
what's
of
your-
strong
what's your
to
story?
say. Okay, so I started dancing as a kid and I loved it. So I did a lot of modern. I studied Horton and it was beautiful. I loved it and I was ready. I told my mom, I'm going to become a dancer.
Amazing.
She was like, not so much, not really.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah. So then I went to
Like
college.
not supporting or just sort of knew that, you know, it was difficult?
My mom is Guyanese, West Indian, so they're very much about, get your education, support yourself in that.
That's
in that
right,
way.
and you have like an engineering degree.
Well, that's
degree,
what
right?
happened after that. Yeah, I went to college and studied engineering, so I worked as a structural engineer for a couple of years.
And then how did you start acting? What happened?
Well, I always kind of had
Were there, like open auditions at
Well-
your structural engineering office?
No,
Like-
not at all. No, not a thing. But there were open auditions here in New York City. So after that kind of died down for me, I started taking classes and working on my craft and auditioning for initially a lot of musical theaters because that was kind of like my first love.
you have an incredible voice.
Oh, well, that's really sweet. I don't really do too much singing anymore. It's kind of relegated to the shower, but that's very nice.
You don't
of you to
sing
say.
anymore?
I mean, not so much. I haven't been doing too many musicals. I've been busy with
this, but
Farah.
prior to this, you had a couple musicals
I
under your
did,
belt.
yeah. Like my first job out of engineering was The Color Purple. I went on tour with that Broadway show, and it was awesome. Hands down, one of the best theater experiences of my life. It was really
You have
great.
sang in musicals.
I have,
'Cause you made
yes.
me, you sort of made me feel like you don't
No,
sing at all.
it's
and
true. I did. I just don't do it anymore. It's like a muscle, and if you don't use it, you lose it. So I just haven't done it in a while.
Do you miss it?
I do miss it. I miss. There's something about the musical that's just reminds me of my childhood and makes me just happy immediately. Just hearing the overture of The Sound of Music sometimes just makes me want to break into song and run up a hill. But as far as being involved in musicals, I'm really excited about TV and film and that kind of world now. So yeah, I'm
And the
really
sci-fi.
happy.
Are you like really excited by the sci-fi world too, considering this is?
Oh yeah, and I'm learning so much about this. Yeah, I mean, Dirk is all about it. The fans are all about it. At Comic-Con, they're all about it too. So we're always learning a ton about this world, and I'm excited about that as well.
What has that been like for you? Because I'd imagine you take the show and you have no idea that it's going to turn into this thing where you're at Comic-Con and there are fans who know every plot line and are super dedicated to it.
Yeah.
What has that been like?
It's been pretty surreal, I think. Walking into Comic-Con, seeing people dressed as Dirk or in big old fireman outfits, like Bart, that I think is some of the most heartwarming stuff that you can see, because we had no idea what this was going to be. We were shooting the first season and we hoped for the best, but you never really know as you go into the airing of the season, and people just took to it and loved it. And you should see the cosplay that goes on. I wish I had the ingenuity that these people do to get these costumes together. It's really
You wish you could love something nearly as much as they love the show that you're on.
listen, I'm really lazy. Even
Same.
with Halloween, right? It's just.
Oh, I'm going as Garth tonight for Halloween because
Oh, that's
Garth is
nice.
so easy.
That's so good.
Just a wig.
Oh, that's very good. I like
Ripped
that.
jeans.
I like that a lot.
What are you going as?
That goes back to my lazy part.
You're not going to do anything.
I did not. The thing with Halloween is you have to plan. You have to plan ahead of time. And I just didn't. I had ideas, but I didn't execute them. I wanted to do this Nefertiti thing. You ever see that music video that Michael Jackson did? Remember the time with. Right, so Iman is this beautiful,
Oh my God.
I wanted to, but it didn't happen, so maybe next year, I don't know.
Do you think people would, if you went as, do you think people would get that rep? People would be like, oh, remember the time? Or they would just be like,
Right.
Egyptian thing, I don't know.
Right. They would probably, if they saw me alone, they'd probably think it was Nefertiti or something like that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, probably. I think
Maybe
you're
one
right.
person who'd come up to me like, I got you.
Yep, exactly.
Remember the time.
Right, exactly. Or I could walk around with a boombox, just blaring the music and going to the
That's true.
That might help.
That's
I
true.
think.
Or you could have a Michael or I think
Right,
an Eddie
Michael.
Murphy with
That's
you, right? Isn't
right.
Eddie Murphy in the video?
You're smart. That's why you do this. Yeah. No, that's good.
A useless amount of information.
It's so good. You're right. I need to get an Eddie or a Michael. I'll try to make that.
Get an Eddie.
Yeah.
At least it's funny.
Yeah,
For
that's
the
true.
night, they can make you laugh at least.
Right. That's true. I'll work on it. I'll let you know.
I have that thing sometimes where I have ideas throughout the year for Halloween costumes, and then
Constantly thinking.
October
That's it.
comes, I've got nothing for some reason. I lose all of them.
All the ideas. You got to write them down. I write them down in the notes in my phone.
You have a list of Halloween
Not
costumes?
Halloween things, but like things that come to me and I'm like, oh, I should remember this. And then they're there. And then you just start accumulating your list. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I could do this. You have like 10 ideas.
That's right, I should do that.
Yeah, dude.
I should specifically do that.
I do that
about
on
my
the train.
Halloween ideas.
Yeah, do it. So you have a plethora of choices.
What's it like? I'm taking it back to the show now.
Yeah.
What's it like doing Max's dialogue? Because it's so much different than anybody else's dialogue that's being written. It's so specific to each character, yet also like self-referential and long-winded at times.
You know, it's funny. When I first auditioned for Farah, he gave all of us these long monologues. That was the first scene that we had to do. And mine was, I want to say, about a page and a half. I mean, like a block of text. And all of Farah's weird cadence, the stop-start, the, constantly like, wait, is this what I mean to say? No, actually, all of it is like written down in there. And it was super intimidating, I think, at first. But the more I worked on it and the more familiar I became with it, the more I realized that this is exactly who I am.
Who you are.
Yeah, like I do that myself as well. Like there was a scene in that audition where, yeah, I think that was the same one where, at least the way I read it, it was almost like you think that she's being interviewed by someone, like someone is sitting across from her and asking her these questions, and this is her answer to them. But by the end of the scene, you realize that she's talking to herself and trying to convince herself that, right, exactly, that she's not crazy. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes too.
You do that. You talk to yourself often, trying to convince
sometimes.
yourself you're not crazy.
I mean, not that maybe sometimes. Maybe not that I'm not crazy, but sometimes you have conversations with yourself where you're like, yeah. And sometimes I do it out loud at home.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do
right,
that.
thank you. Don't leave me out here by myself.
I'm not gonna leave you out there.
It's
I do
true,
that.
yes, we do. So it was just nice to kind of see that on the page, like seeing someone put that on the screen and know, oh yeah, I do that too. Other people
Who
do
else
it.
does that?
Who else?
Psychos.
Wow, just rude. So rude.
But we do it, so we're okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as long as you don't. No, that's also part of it. Never mind.
What did you got? What do you got there?
I was gonna say, like, they say the first sign of insanity is like when is it asking yourself questions or something, and then the next sign is when you answer those questions or something like, So I don't know.
Let's get questions from these guys.
Okay.
So we're not asking ourselves questions.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
let's
good.
do that.
Hi.
Who's got right here? Hi.
I have two things to say before my question. One, I was going to dress up as Dirk this year, but I couldn't find the jacket.
Whoa, there's so many though. There's so many colors.
I know, but I wanted to do the original yellow.
I know.
It's
See,
so
that's the
hard to
thing.
find,
They're
though.
so dedicated. You're right. That yellow jacket is bomb. I love it.
But then I found it on Amazon and it was way too expensive.
Okay, nope, don't do that.
And two, I have a picture of Dirk as my lock screen on my phone.
Oh,
because I love
wow.
it so much.
Sam would love that. That is awesome. Sam, I hope you're watching this. That is amazing. I'm glad.
And my question, if you had the opportunity to play any character outside of this show, who would you choose?
Any character, like, at all?
Yeah, outside of this show.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. See, initially, I was thinking Daenerys, big Game of Thrones fan. But I think it's a totally different type of thing. But I really like Storm, too. She's kind of a boss. So I like that as well.
Storm, of the
Storm,
X-Men?
like of X-Men. Yeah, man.
You're a comic book fantasy fan.
I mean, kind of, sort of, yeah. I like my comics. I like my movies. It's fun. It's nice.
Let's do another question. Who has a question?
Hey, Jade, you're so amazing. Acting, dancing, modeling, singing, interviewing.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Are there any other tools left in your arsenal that you have yet to spring upon the world?
Interviewing is my favorite.
Right. That's a good question. I used to be good at this. I don't know how good I am at it now. I used to be able to jump double dutch as a kid, you know, like that whole, right? It's kind of tricky. It really is. It's kind of, well, I couldn't for a long time, and then I learned, and I used to kind of be good at that. Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's good.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question right here. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
So could you please talk about the moment where you decided that, you know, my acting is my passion and I'm going to leave engineering behind me and go against what my parents have asked me to do?
So
Just talk about that moment.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of always, like, you know, I grew up with musical theater. I kind of loved the performance thing. I just always did. And it was when I started working as an engineer, things kind of like slowed down. I kind of got pigeonholed into doing things like activities that were not really befitting of an engineer, like just mindless stuff that didn't really matter. And I always like went back to, what if I did this? This is always what I wanted to do. What if I tried this? And I mean, this goes back to Farah. You doubt yourself. You come down on yourself. Am I really going to do this? Am I really going to leave my secure job to do something that's completely outside of the box, you know? And so it was slow baby steps that I took that I think gave me the confidence to finally say, when I did have another job to go to, like I booked that musical, slowly but surely I got to that point where I was like, no, I can do this. I'm ready for this. And what I don't know now, I will learn. I'll learn along the way. And I had great people that were somehow just positioned in my life that helped me when times were rough, when I had those moments of, I don't know if I can do this. This is a lot of work. This is hard. This is New York City. There's a lot of, you know, the life of a working actor here in New York is, it's a lot. And you have to have the stamina for it. You've got to be a self-starter. You've got to, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. So
you've also got to know what you want to do, right, as an actor, because there are opportunities for actors, but at the same time, that opportunity could lead to more opportunities that you don't want to be a part of. So it's like, do I turn down this thing that could put a little bit of money in my pocket and pay for lunch, but at the same time, it's not gearing me more towards the career that I want to have. Actors in New York, or actors in general, have it so hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I mean, not famous ones, but like non-working, struggling
Even
actors.
some of the famous ones started out with like those same kinds of dilemmas. I think I was watching like an interview with Dustin Hoffman or something, and I think he did like some rando car commercial or something, and not in the days where there were like tons of residuals. You were making that money doing a commercial for Ford or something, you know, like something really sad and depressing, you know, like that's the kind of stuff that you kind of have to decide on as an actor. And sometimes you make those decisions and you have to make those hard decisions. And sometimes you get to the place where you can say, hey, this is more so what I want to do. This is leading me in the way that I want my career to go. And, you know, if you stick with it, I feel like there's like a 10-year rule. Honestly, I think that people who can put in the work for 10 years and stick with it and grow, like, do really, really well. You'd be surprised, like, actors that you see now that are, like, everywhere. 10 years ago, where were they? What were they doing? Look at their credits and see where they started. And it's kind of inspiring to me. Like, it takes time to get where where you want to go, so be gentle with yourself.
When did your parents come around to it?
Oh, Mom is better now. She watched the episodes as they aired in the first season and second season. So yeah, she's
like, okay.
That's it. That right there. That's exactly her face.
Mom, you're like, Mom, I'm a working actor. It's one of the hardest things to do in the world. Like, I am actually a paid actor. And she's like, we'll see. Like that?
And then little bit.
Well, I love the show. It's on Saturday nights at 9 on BBC America. How many episodes do we have left in this season?
They just aired episode 3, so we've got 7 left. There are 10 episodes this season.
10 episodes this season. You have 7 left. Guys, give a round of applause for Jade. Thank you so much, Jade.
Thank you. Thank you.